We have muscle damage. I repeat, we have widespread microtrauma across the pectoral and tricep fibers. The stress load from yesterday's resistance training session was significant. We successfully pushed close to muscular failure. The mechanical tension was optimal. The metabolic stress was high. We did everything right on the floor. Now we just need the repair crew. We need the deep wave sleep. We need the delta waves to wash over the cerebral cortex so we can begin the real work. The real work doesn't happen under the iron. The real work happens in the dark. Wait, why is the heart rate elevating? Why is the sympathetic nervous system kicking back into gear? It has only been 4 hours. 4 hours, that cannot be right. The sun is not even up yet. Where is the rest of the repair cycle? We barely scratched the surface of stage 3 non-rapid eye movement sleep. We just started releasing human growth hormone from the pituitary gland. The pulses were just getting strong. The satellite cells were just migrating to the sites of the microtears. The macrophages were just beginning to clean up the cellular debris left over from the workout. We were preparing for a massive wave of protein synthesis, and now, the alarm is ringing, a harsh, relentless sound. Cortisol is flooding the system. Adrenaline is spiking, the eyes are opening. This is not a drill. Our human is awake, our human is out of bed. We are aborting the repair sequence. I repeat, abort the repair sequence. All available energy must be redirected to immediate survival and alertness. The muscle rebuilding phase is officially incomplete. Let us assess the situation. The human is moving towards the kitchen. The central nervous system is sluggish. The motor neurons are firing, but the signal strength is weak. The action potentials are traveling down the axons, but there is a noticeable lag. The neuromuscular junctions are depleted of acetylcholine. We did not have enough time to fully replenish the neurotransmitters. Every movement feels heavy. The gravitational pull feels twice as strong today. Inside the muscle fibers, it is a construction site that has been abruptly abandoned. The scaffolding is up, but the workers have been sent home. The microtears from those heavy sets of bench presses are still there. They are inflamed. The local immune response is active, but without the anabolic environment provided by deep sleep, the process is stalled. The satellite cells, which are crucial for donating their nuclei to the damaged muscle fibers to increase their size and strength, are returning to a dormant state. They did not get enough time to fuse with the existing fibers. We are entering a state of stress, and not the good kind of stress. Not the hormetic stress we experience during a workout. This is systemic, chronic cleaning stress. The adrenal glands are working overtime. Cortisol levels, which are naturally supposed to rise in the morning to wake us up, are skyrocketing to compensate for the lack of restorative sleep. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone. It breaks things down. In a state of sleep deprivation, the body perceives a threat. It thinks we are in danger. It does not care about building a bigger chest or stronger arms. It cares about having enough readily available energy to fight or flee. To get that energy, cortisol is signaling the liver to undergo gluconeogenesis. We are converting non-carbohydrate sources into glucose. And where does the body look when it needs amino acids to convert into sugar? It looks at the muscle tissue. We are actively fighting a biological urge to break down the very muscle we worked so hard to stimulate yesterday. Simultaneously, our anabolic hormones are suppressed. Testosterone production, which heavily relies on sufficient rapid eye movement and deep sleep cycles, is blunted. We are operating with a suboptimal hormonal profile. The ratio of testosterone to cortisol has flipped in the wrong direction. The environment is hostile to muscle protein synthesis. The human is pouring coffee. A large one. Caffeine is entering the bloodstream. It is binding to the adenosine receptors in the brain. Adenosine is the molecule that builds up throughout the day and makes us feel tired. By blocking these receptors, the caffeine is creating a false sense of alertness. It is a temporary mask over a deep, underlying fatigue. The central nervous system is being artificially stimulated, but the peripheral fatigue in the muscles remains unresolved. Let us look at the cellular level. The mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, are struggling. They need sleep to clear out metabolic waste products like reactive oxygen species. Because of the shortened sleep window, oxidative stress remains high. The cellular environment is acidic and inflamed. This impairs the mitochondria's ability to produce adenosine triphosphate efficiently. ATP is the currency of energy. Without enough of it, muscular contractions during the next workout will be weaker, slower, and less coordinated. Speaking of the next workout, the human is packing a gym bag. This is a critical error in judgment. The central nervous system is not recovered. The autonomic nervous system is skewed heavily towards sympathetic dominance, the fight or flight state, leaving the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest state, suppressed. If the human attempts to lift heavy weights today, the risk of injury is exponentially higher. The stabilizing muscles will fatigue faster. The proprioception, our sense of where our body is in space, is compromised. The reaction times are delayed. Furthermore, insulin sensitivity is taking a massive hit. Just one night of 4 hours of sleep can significantly impair the body's ability to manage blood sugar. The insulin receptors on the muscle cells are becoming resistant. When the human consumes carbohydrates today, instead of efficiently shuttling that glucose into the muscle cells to replenish glycogen stores, the body will struggle. The pancreas will have to pump out more insulin. The glucose will circulate in the blood longer, and a larger portion of it is likely to be stored as adipose tissue or body fat. We are not just failing to build muscle, we are actively shifting the body composition in the wrong direction. We are creating an environment that favors fat storage and muscle breakdown. The human is feeling it now. The initial caffeine rush is wearing off. The midday slump is hitting hard. The brain is craving quick energy. The ghrelin levels, the hunger hormone, are elevated. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, is suppressed. The human is reaching for a sugary snack. This is a biological drive, a desperate attempt by the sleep-deprived brain to find quick fuel. But sugar will only provide a brief spike, followed by a deeper crash. The inflammation will increase. The recovery process will be further delayed. As the day drags on, the cognitive deficits become undeniable. Focus is shattered. Executive function in the prefrontal cortex is compromised. The human is irritable, making poor decisions, lacking the willpower to stick to the nutritional plan. This is the hidden cost of sleep deprivation. It is not just about the physical recovery, it is about the mental fortitude required to maintain a discipline. We are operating on a skeletal crew. The immune system is weakened. The natural killer cells, which hunt down pathogens, are reduced in number and activity. If a virus enters the system today, we will have a much harder time fighting it off. All resources are stretched dangerously thin. Evening approaches. The human is finally returning home. The workout was skipped, which, biologically speaking, was the only smart decision made today. Adding more mechanical and metabolic stress to a system that is already deeply compromised and under-recovered would have been disastrous. It would have dug the recovery hole even deeper. Now, the human is lying down. The eyes are heavy. The adenosine pressure is immense. The body is practically begging for a system reboot. We survived the day. We navigated the stress, the fatigue, the hormonal imbalances. We managed to keep the vital organs functioning and the brain relatively alert. But as we finally drift off, as the slow waves begin to pulse through the brain, we must assess the overall outcome of this 24-hour cycle. Did we lose muscle mass? Probably not a significant amount. A single night of poor sleep is not enough to cause profound muscle catabolism, provided protein intake was somewhat adequate. The body is resilient. It has evolutionary safeguards to prevent rapid loss of lean tissue. However, did we build muscle? Did we adapt to the stimulus from yesterday's intense workout? Did we get stronger, faster, or better? No, the opportunity was missed. The anabolic window, which relies so heavily on the restorative power of sleep, was slammed shut prematurely. The signaling pathways for muscle protein synthesis, like mTOR, were inhibited by the high energy stress. The satellite cells remained largely inactive. The microtears were patched up haphazardly, just enough to function, but not reinforced to be stronger than before. We spent the entire day fighting just to maintain baseline. We spent our resources managing the crisis of sleep deprivation rather than investing in growth and adaptation. We didn't lose muscle today, but we certainly didn't build much either. It is a day of stagnation, a biological stalemate. Tomorrow, we must do better. We need those 8 hours. We need the deep sleep. We need the repair crew to have the time and the resources to do their job. Because without them, all the effort under the iron is just breaking the body down, with no hope of building it back up stronger. End of assessment. Initiating recovery protocol, finally.